Hello everyone, and welcome to a new review. I'm going to review an anime called Onegai My Melody. Fun fact, Onegai means please in Japanese. The series was made by Takashi Yamada and also Makoto Moriwaki. The series is based around two Sanrio characters, My Melody and Kuromi. According to some of Sanrio's history, My Melody was originally a Little Red Riding Hood character. Kuromi, however, only made her first appearance in the anime. These two are both bunnies, and they're like polar opposites, where My Melody can be kind, Kuromi can be mean. They're also very trending in the goth community. If you've seen goth girls before, they probably have Kuromi or My Melody in their possessions. So now that I'm done talking about the characters, it's time to review the anime Onegai My Melody. I've gotta say, this intro music is kinda catchy. It was even sung in different versions with different Sanrio characters doing the vocals. Anyway, I'm going to explain the plot of the series. I'll tell you about the first few episodes of the show just to let you know what to expect. The first episode starts off with My Melody and some of her friends playing in a flower field. Kuromi is then seen running from some guards, as well as her sidekick known as Baku. She ends up managing to escape, and then My Melody takes the blame. She's then tasked on going to the human world to stop Kuromi. My Melody brings three things with her to help her in her journey, known as the Melody Tact, the Melody Box, and the Melody Candy. These three things are essential to the story of the anime, not to mention the merchandise. Now it's time to talk about the second main character of this anime. Her name is Uta. She's a high school girl who plays the violin and has a crush on a boy named Haragi. He kinda looks like a Sephiroth with shorter hair. He also plays the violin and is quite popular with a lot of girls. During the episode, Uta is practicing for a violin concert but is having a lot of trouble. She wishes she can be better so she can impress Haragi. Luckily, Kuromi is here to make her wish come true, and Kuromi has magical items of her own. She uses a key known as the Melody Key, and she uses a violin stick known as the Melody Bow. Later on in the episode, the violin concert begins. But during the concert, Uta notices that the violin is for some reason playing by itself. Soon, the violin then ends up coming to life. Uta manages to capture it, but ends up running outside and breaking down in sadness. My Melody ends up coming to Earth at the right time to save the day, and I'm pretty sure Uta and the little bunny are gonna share a strong bond and friendship till the very or maybe they won't. I understand that if cute characters cry, we cry too, but you've got to admit this scene is kind of funny. Uta is sad because her concert got ruined and these unexpected events started happening. My Melody is sad because she's not on Earth for 5 minutes and already gets attacked by the first person. And all in all, you can't just help but laugh.
Cry some more!
The violin eventually ends up breaking free and begins to scold Uta. The way Uta and her violin are arguing about each other is just really funny. Uta's friends catch up to her and notice her fighting with her violin, and they also notice My Melody. I'm pretty sure My Melody appreciates the attention, but she's got some work to do.
Now what's eating them? You'd think they never saw a rabbit before.
My Melody uses the Melody Tact to summon a heart sticker known as the Melody Mark, and she puts it on a crab backpack that one of the girls were using. At first, it doesn't really look like the crab is doing all that much. Well, that is until My Melody says this. The crab ends up getting more strength and is able to defeat the violin. The violin does try to beg for mercy, but unfortunately, it's too late. The violin turns back to normal, and then all is well. My Melody also gives the crab a piece of candy, and it goes back to being a crab backpack like before. Later on, Uda plans to apologize to everyone and stop playing the violin, but after seeing that Haragi really was impressed with Uta, she changes her mind and still plays the violin. Uda tells her friends, and then a pink music note pops out of her and gets put in the melody box. Uda thanks My Melody for her help and agrees to let My Melody live with her. And that concludes episode 1 of the show. In the second episode, we cut to the scene where Kuromi's scheme failed. Baku and Kuromi notice Haragi walking on the street, and they decide to interact with him. Kuromi asks Haragi if he has any dreams or wishes, but Haragi rejects her. Haragi notices Kuromi's melody bow, and he uses it to play his violin. As Haragi plays the violin with the melody bow, Kuromi's melody key gets powered up. After Kuromi realizes how useful Haragi is, she agrees to stay with him for the rest of the series. Uda brings My Melody back to her home, and My Melody agrees to stay with Uda for the rest of the series, and her 2 other siblings. The episodes would mostly follow the same kind of formula each time. We get a little scoop of what My Melody and Kuromi's life is like in the human world. We even get to see what our characters' problems and struggles are like. During the climax of each episode, someone has a dream or a wish, and then Baku and Kuromi come along and use the
power of the Keyblade
to make their wish come true by turning it into nightmare magic to cause chaos. Also, in every episode, whenever Kuromi uses the melody key, we get a scene of a shirtless Haragi playing the violin in the darkness. At least I hope he's shirtless. My Melody ends up coming along and uses the melody mark to bring a random inanimate object to life to battle the dark magic. If whoever has the melody mark is having trouble, My Melody will always say please to make it become stronger. Later on in the series, she'll upgrade to saying pretty please, and then finally pretty please with sugar on top. Also, it has the power to control people against their will. At the end, whatever My Melody put the melody mark on, she gives it melody candy and turns it back to normal. If the person regrets their decision and their dream gets realized by something else, a pink note pops out of them. However, if they enjoyed the nightmare magic that was brought upon them, a black note comes out of them. Every now and then, Kuromi will pull out her Kuromi note. It's basically a notebook about everything that My Melody did to Kuromi over the course of her life. There are some other important characters, like this guy that loves plushies and has an obsession with My Melody. He gives Kuromi a lot of black notes after she helped him spend time with My Melody. There's Uta's mother, who is deceased before the events of the series, but is only seen in flashbacks. She was also featured in the Christmas episode and helped My Melody get a lot of pink notes. I'm never going to get that image of Santa out of my brain. There's also Baku, who's meant to be Kuromi's henchman. As helpful as he is to Kuromi, he also gets his fair share of abuse. I kind of feel bad for the poor guy. He's just trying his best to help Kuromi, and then bam, he just gets hurt without question. Lastly, there's Haragi, the guy that helps Kuromi. At first, he's just seen as the guy that gives Kuromi strength so she can use the
power of the Keyblade
to use for evil purposes. But later on in the series, he becomes more of a threatening villain than Kuromi. He did have dreams and ambitions once, but he sadly had to give them up because he was forced to play the violin. So now I'm going to talk about the finale of the series, everything that's been leading up to this point. So far, My Melody and Kuromi both collected 99 pink and black notes. Kuromi gets one more black note from this Afro guy who wants to make poems or something. As all of the characters are in complete shock, Kuromi begins to celebrate. She goes to tell Haragi the news, but Baku stops her by telling her that if she collected 100 black notes, it would most likely end the world. Kuromi tries to tell Haragi that she regrets her decision, but unfortunately, it's too late. Haragi steals all the black notes and is going to use them to destroy everything. I hope you're happy, Kuromi. You've doomed us all. All 100 of the black notes form into a song called The Song of Dark Power. As Haragi plays it, The entire town is in complete chaos. Also, at the same time, My Melody's homeworld named Mariland begins to slowly disappear. All the nightmares that Kuromi casted try to stop the characters, but they still manage to make it to Haragi.
Kuromi explains that she's not a villain anymore, and My Melody replies,
Okay, I believe you.
My Melody pleads with Haragi to stop, but Haragi doesn't want to listen.
Kuromi decides to use the
Power the Keyblade!
one last time in order to enter Haragi's mind to convince him. They enter Haragi's dream and they realize that it's anything but colorful. Uda, My Melody, and Kuromi find bags on the floor which were filled with Haragi's wishes and dreams. The moment they open the bags, Haragi's memories of Uda flash before their eyes. There also just so happened to be a human version of Kuromi in Haragi's dream. And yes, you heard me correctly, it's a human version of Kuromi.
You can just imagine the fandom.
Haragi is able to wake up, but the dark power that has sentient life doesn't want to let him go. He barely manages to catch Uda, and Uda gives My Melody one more pink note. The dark power decides to take full control of Haragi and force him to let go of Uda, causing her to fall. My Melody tries to save Uda, but I don't think she had a plan. Uda's friends managed to save her and My Melody in time, but now that the dark power has full control of Haragi, he continues to play the song, only this time, it's more louder and more different. The entire town watches as all the dark magic gathers to Haragi. At first it looks like the chaos stopped, but unfortunately it's only the beginning. The end of the world begins with an entire gray fog covering the entire earth. Actually, wait, the people are fine, they just turn completely hopeless. Kinda reminds me of Rick and Morty, where the entire world is fine, they just turned it toxic.
Did it, Morty! Put your hands in the air! Yeah! You little piece of
Baku and Kuromi try to stop Haragi on their own, but their efforts are kinda little. Baku then gives some backstory on why he follows Kuromi. In spite of Kuromi's crimes against Mariland, she actually did do something good by stealing food and giving it to Baku's hungry family. My Melody and Uda's friends use the pink notes to compose a song of their own called the Song of Dreams. The pink notes also magically turn them into pop stars. My Melody's melody tax becomes stronger and as a result heavier. Kuromi also decides to join in. It's to make up for everything that she's done. For the next few scenes, Uda and My Melody's friends are all preparing for the fight that's yet to come. They don't have much time to finish their song, and the fog has made its way to Japan and their hometown. So they decide to take their battle to the sky and straight to Haragi, or in this case, their song and dance. While they try to sing their song, Haragi throws all sorts of attacks at them to knock them out of the sky. The rest of the final episode is just one huge music battle. The fog ends up catching up to the people of the town. They try their best to avoid it, but eventually they all get consumed. The entire town is covered in complete hopelessness, but Uda's friends still muster up whatever hope they have left to continue singing. Haragi continues attacking, but then something incredible happens. My Melody and Kuromi end up breaking the fourth wall and encouraging the audience to sing. She gives one last pretty please with sugar on top to the viewers. And I think she also communicated with the Hello Kitty in those intermissions. The melody tax ends up getting even more power, and eventually the song is able to reach Haragi. Wait, is he? Oh, you've gotta be kidding me. First Santa Claus and now this? Anyway, he's able to break free from the dark power's control and sing along with Uda and her friends. And with the melody tacked at full power, My Melody uses it one more time to unleash the biggest melody mark ever. The melody mark restores color to the world and turns everybody back to normal. It even restores Mariland as well. There's no denying it at this point. With the world now restored to normal, the people in Mariland plan to punish Haragi for everything that he's done, and they also rearrest Kuromi and Baku. But then suddenly out of nowhere, hot springs burst out of the ground, and everybody celebrates with a hot spring bath. And that's the end of Onegai My Melody.
All right, someone's coming to town. Oh, for crying out loud.
So, what are my thoughts on this show? Well, me personally, I don't usually watch magical girl animes, but this one was okay. There were some human and non-human characters I found entertaining, and there were some others that I kind of found a little boring. There were even some characters that I wish I knew a little more about, but all in all, this was pretty good. I would recommend it to anybody who's interested in magical girl genres, but sadly, finding the perfect place to watch this show is kind of a challenge. There's a total of 52 episodes in the series, and some channels only uploaded just half of them. If you're able to find a DVD copy of the series in Japan, that would be good. Or maybe some people might find a little bit of a more riskier way to watch the series, but I'm not suggesting it. And if it were ever English dubbed by, let's say, 4Kids, they'd have to do a lot of censoring and script changing. And with that being said, that's it for my Onegai My Melody review. If you liked it, if you hated it, or if I missed anything that you'd like to point out, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.